My name is Mark, and I'm a 27-year-old animator working at a media house. I'm pretty proud of my work and the fact that I'm well liked at the office. Beyond my professional life, I'm also an amateur kickboxer standing at a towering 6 foot 5 inches and weighing around 240 pounds. Some people would call me a physical specimen. My peers at my kickboxing gym call me King. I used to have a girlfriend, Rebecca, who was 24 years old. She had a petite frame and skin that could be likened to porcelain. Her body was simply amazing. We met at a local gym where I used to work out. I was somewhat of a gym celebrity there with my great physique and kickboxing skills, and it didn't go unnoticed. It was clear that Rebecca was interested in me, and she didn't take long to ask me out on a date. I agreed as I was single at the time and knew I had a lot to offer. I was considered good-looking, had excellent kickboxing skills, and a stable job. Rebecca, on the other hand, worked as a front desk receptionist at a local construction company. I wasn't in a position to buy a house back then since I was investing heavily in the gym and kickboxing training to keep my physique in top shape. Managing food expenses was also a significant part of my routine, so I was renting an apartment with the lease in my name. Rebecca and I dated for a few weeks and things were going well. I was aware that she had been in a previous relationship that ended due to her partner's abusive behavior. Rebecca shared with me that her ex-boyfriend's name was Jose, and he hailed from Culiacan, Mexico. I was quite taken aback to hear that he was involved in drug smuggling. It's not something you'd expect someone like Rebecca to be associated with. She confided in me that, initially, he didn't reveal his true colors, but over the course of a few months while they were dating, she got to know the real him. Sadly, she had to leave him because he became abusive. One fine day while on a date, she asked me if she can move in with me. Rebecca's move-in request took me by surprise, and I was initially reluctant as I was concerned that it might disrupt my well-established routine. However, she was persistent, and I could see that she genuinely wanted to be with me. Ultimately, I decided to let her move in, and things seemed to be going well in our shared living arrangement. Rebecca's daily habits started to become a source of annoyance for me, particularly her extended bathing routine. In our small apartment, it was causing some inconvenience. My disciplined daily schedule was being disrupted, and it was affecting my work and training. Frustrated, I decided to have an honest conversation with her about my concerns and asked her to make some changes. At first, she seemed taken aback and tried to defend her habits, but I was firm in expressing my feelings and the impact it was having on me. To my relief, she eventually agreed to make adjustments and started following a more structured schedule. I was pleased that she listened to me. I used to take Rebecca out for dinners occasionally, and we always enjoyed our movie nights at home. We even ventured on trips to the woods together. My bed life was also going great, and she too had started to call me her king. One day, my coach approached me with an incredible opportunity. He asked if I'd be interested in attending a Muay Thai camp in Thailand, and to make it even more appealing, he offered to sponsor the entire trip, covering all expenses, including training. It was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I couldn't turn it down, so I agreed. When I informed Rebecca about this opportunity, she was clearly upset. I had to clarify that the trip was strictly for training, not for sightseeing, which seemed to be a point of concern for her. It was a tough decision as I understood her feelings, but this was a significant chance to further my kickboxing skills. I went to Thailand and trained for 4 weeks. I had a fight at a local stadium and won by TKO. It was a great experience. I decided not to inform Rebecca about my return, keeping it a surprise. When I returned home, I noticed that my place was in disarray. There were dirty clothes strewn about on the bed, a towel that was still wet, and cigarette butts on the floor. I had no idea that Rebecca smoked. While cleaning up, I realized that the smell was different. It was marijuana. I was taken aback. To my surprise, I discovered even more shocking things in the bathroom. There was a large toy and used rubber present, which left me feeling quite bewildered and concerned. Inside my closet, I came across a black leather jacket that clearly didn't belong to me, and it filled me with anger. It became evident to me that Rebecca might have been involved with someone else. When I inspected the jacket, I found small packets of white powder which raised suspicions. It suddenly struck me that Rebecca's ex-boyfriend had been a drug dealer. I returned to the gym, got dressed for a workout, and began hitting the heavy bag. My coach observed my training and quickly asked me to stop. He guided me to his office and asked me to remove my gloves and take a seat. Tears streamed down my face and I couldn't contain my emotions. I confided in my coach and shared everything with him, including my intention to propose to my girlfriend that day. He comforted me, telling me to stop crying, and he stood up and gave me a reassuring hug. After that, he suggested I change and then took me out for a drink at a bar. At the bar, he asked me a crucial question: "What do you want to do now?" I told him that I want to knock out Rebecca and her affair partner. He then asked me to find out who this guy is and let's take them out. I did not return to my place that evening and slept at the gym. I called my office and asked them if I can get 3 more days off. They agreed as there was not a lot of work at the office. I went to spy mode and went near my apartment and waited near my apartment building, wearing a hoodie in the adjacent park. As I watched, I saw her arrive in a black lowrider with a Mexican guy wearing a cowboy hat driving the car. They parked in the visitors' parking area and entered the apartment building. A few minutes later, I walked to my apartment, which was at the corner, and as I got closer, I could hear unsettling sounds, almost like something out of a Korn movie. My instincts told me to break open the door and go absolutely berserk. But I know that piece of trash that I used to love is not worth it. So, I went back to the gym and met my coach. I told him what I saw and he said that let me get something done for you. My coach told me what he planned and I laughed hard. My initial reaction was that this plan will never work. He told me to relax and stay at the gym. So, that evening my coach and a skinny guy we call Kay, who also works as a host on a YouTube channel that does these prank videos, went near my apartment and took some more guys just to fill in the shot. So, Rebecca and the Mexican guy arrive and Kay stops them. Rebecca left the car and went to the apartment not wanting to be in the video. So, Kay goes back to the Mexican guy and asks if he wants to make some money. He told the guy that he needs to fight for it and he will be fighting some random guy to win money. The Mexican guy was already wasted and was seen already on a high. He agreed, and we brought him to the gym. The coach made him sign a waiver form where he clearly mentions that he will not press charges for any injuries sustained during the fight. So, the first fight, he fought a small guy who had just started his training. The smaller guy quickly went in and acted that he was afraid of the Mexican guy and left the ring. Everyone cheered for the Mexican guy. He was pumped and got on top of the ring to celebrate and almost fell down in the ring. Kay went in the ring and gave him $100 and asked if he wants to make more money. He screamed like Stone Cold Steve Austin, "Hell yeah." So, I went down the ring. The fight started. I moved around the ring, peppered a few straight jabs. The guy seemed to be taking it fine. The next 20 seconds did not go well for him. I landed 36 punched all over his face and upper body, and he collapsed. He was revived a few minutes later. We took him to the doctor and later found that he has 2 broken orbital bones, 7 cracked ribs, and his concussions. The cops were there. We showed them the signed waiver by the guy. The cops later tried to search his belongings for any ID or address and details about the guy. They found Rebecca's credit card and some more packets of white stuff. They took the guy in custody. Upon searching his car, they found 2 handguns, some more white stuff, and a bag full of cash. They took him straight to the big house. The cops reached my apartment and searched. They found marijuana in Rebecca's bag. It was not enough to put her in the big house, but she was arrested on suspicions of being involved with drug trafficking. When she was arrested, I switched off my phone and went to my apartment. My lease was expiring in 2 weeks and my coach had arranged a new place for me to move in. So I packed all my stuff and moved to the new place. I gave the keys to the landlord and it was done. Rebecca was released 3 days later as there were no evidence against her being involved. She returned to the apartment and found that there was a different couple living there. She was livid and even tried to break in. The couple then threatened to call the cops and she ran off. She knew where I used to train and she barged in when I was training. I was in the ring and she jumped in the ring and tried to take a swing at me. She was stopped by some guys and pinned down on the mat. She then started crying and asked to let her go. So, the guys let her go and she stood up. I gave her a questioning look. She said that she was lonely and just wanted to have some fun, so she wanted to get some weed. She said that one thing led to another and the Mexican guy was in bed with her. It was not her fault. The Mexican guy sweet-talked her into it. I said that women who get sweet-talked into bed are loose character and don't deserve a man like me. She said that it should not be a big deal as she has slept with him before our relationship. I was shocked and thought if she has lost her mind and if she is even aware of what she is saying. She said that since the guy knows her body, it was okay for him to be with her again. She said it was for old time's sake. She just wanted to feel nostalgic. I did not speak and just waved her off. She kept crying and said, "You are my king. Why are you leaving me?" I told her I am a king. I don't share my kingdom. She got the message and left crying. We did not call the cops and it was not needed as everything was being recorded in the gym. Rebecca chose to be an easy picking for a dirty man. I am a king and I am not available easily. Rebecca got away from the cops, but being involved with a drug dealer did tarnish her image. She lost her job and her family did not take her in. A few months later, some guys at the gym told me that she is now on OnlyFans and shows off some great angles working out. My coach overheard the conversation and stopped us all and made us do push-ups as a punishment. Even when she is out of my life, her name gets me into pain. But I know I will drive this pain into my strength, and one day I will be a king of the ring.